Today we are making some vegan food from Pulp Fiction. We're going to do a Big Kahuna burger, of course, and then we're going to make some homemade Dutch mayo to see if drowning our fries in them is a good idea. And lastly, we'll make a vegan shake that surprisingly costs less than $5 as well. And now first up is the Big Kahuna burger, and a few things. In the movie we see that it does look like a pretty standard fast food burger, and typically when people make this they'll throw on some pineapple, but I decided against that since I really don't like the texture of pineapple on a burger. And on top of that, the actual Big Kahuna logo clearly shows no pineapple, though it does have a tomato in the middle, which is a bit worrying, but more on that later. So to get some pineapple flavor on this burger without big old slices, we're going to make not only a soy ginger pineapple glaze for the burger, but a sweet and spicy burger sauce using pineapple juice, jalapenos, and sriracha. And this glaze is based after a huli huli sauce, and we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You can use less if that sounds too zippy, and then a 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1/2 cup of pineapple juice, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. I'm using the spicy stuff. And then 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, what's this here sauce? About 1 teaspoon of minced ginger, and then 2 cloves of minced garlic as well. Whisk that up and taste for seasoning. And then optionally, you can blend it up like I did here, which will just emulsify the sauce a bit. And this does make a lot, so you can either make less or use the leftovers on just about anything vegan, chicken, tofu, whatever. It is good stuff. For the burger sauce, we're going to start with 1/2 cup of vegan mayo, 2 tablespoons of sriracha, 1 tablespoon of pineapple juice, 2 tablespoons diced pickled jalapenos, 1/2 teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder, and then black pepper and salt to taste. Whisk that up and then adjust for seasoning as always, but that is your pineapple sriracha burger sauce. And for the burger patties themselves, I wanted to test out mixing some Impossible beef with some vegan pork, so I got this Omni pork and some Beyond sausage, and I'm just going to make them into little patties and then cook them to see which one might work better. And now the Omni pork was very wet and loose, while the Beyond sausage was a lot firmer and easier to work with. But they both grilled up beautifully, and now it's time for a little taste test. And the Omni pork was a very bland compared to the Beyond sausage, but that's by design, I'm guessing, so you can season it the way you like. And since the glaze we made is very salt forward, I decided to use the Omni pork, but the Beyond would be good too, I'm very sure. So I'll make a blend of that and the Impossible meat, and then I'm going to make some 2.5 ounce patties, though I think 3 ounces might have been better. And I'm going to go ahead and smash them down like so to form them. And then next we got to grill our buns real quick just to toast them, and then our burgers, and we're going to go ahead and brush the glaze on them, cook them like we do, give them a flip, add some more glaze, and then our vegan American cheese, cover to steam and melt, and now it's time to build our burger. So we'll start with our bottom bun, some of our sauce, some pickles, which I'm not sure if they're on the Big Kahuna logo, but I love pickles too much to not use them, and then some lettuce, and then our first cheeseburger patty, and now a slice of tomato, which I was a bit dubious of since it can lead to a lot of slippage in between the 2 patties, but it actually worked out okay once I wrapped it up. And then our second cheeseburger patty, a bit more of that sauce, and now our top bun. And I gotta say, this was exactly what I expected, and then some. It's like if an In-N-Out made a teriyaki pineapple burger, just a perfect combination of flavors. And I know that this might seem obvious, but this is a tasty burger. And yes, I had it first thing in the morning since hamburgers are the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast. And if you can't get the Omni pork, I made a version that was just the Impossible meat, and that was fantastic as well, so you really can't go wrong. And now for the fries. Ever since I saw this movie nearly 30 years ago, I've always thought that fries dipped in mayo sounded like an awful idea, but I got curious when I planned this video out, so I decided to find out. And for the mayo, I'm going to make a homemade mayo based off of a recipe for Dutch mayo that I found, but I'm going to be veganizing it, obviously. And this was ridiculously easy to make, and I think I might definitely make my own mayo more often from now on. But all we need to do is get 1/2 cup of room temperature soy milk, and then a cup of oil. I'm using sunflower seed oil, but I think any neutral oil can work. 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, and then 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. This did make it taste a bit lemony, though I didn't mind it, but just an FYI. And then after that, a teaspoon of yellow mustard and some salt. Now I'm using a stick blender. You can also use a regular blender, but you'll have to slowly stream the oil in, otherwise the emulsion will break. I've tried that before and I screwed it up, so I found that the stick blender to be much more foolproof. But you just gotta blend this up, and after a while it'll start to turn into mayo. It's like magic, mayo magic. And once it's looking good, taste and adjust for seasoning. I added some salt and garlic powder, and that is your homemade vegan mayo. And for the fries, I just got this bag of fast food style fries, but I wanted to see if deep frying was really worth it over air frying. So I did a head-to-head taste test, and the air fried fries were actually done before the oil even got heated up, so obviously they were way faster. I seasoned them with some garlic salt, and yeah, they were pretty good. But for the deep fried fries, I had to do them in batches, and they really only took like 2 minutes or so once they're in the oil, so it wasn't that bad. And once I pulled them out, I'll give them some salt as well. I gave those a taste, and they are just way better. Like, they are as close to McDonald's fries as any I've ever had. They're crispy but light and airy in the center. So overall, the deep fried fries are a good move, but only if you're already frying something. I'm not sure I'd fry them just by themselves. Okay, now it's time to see if drowning our fries in mayo is a good idea, and I'll admit I was dubious, but it really wasn't all that bad. In fact, I'd say it was just kind of bland, since I'm used to some kind of mayo-based sauce that's got a bunch of other stuff added to it. I actually really wanted a beer though, so I think it'd be good at a bar or something, but honestly, the more I ate it, the more I liked it. And when all is said and done, I'd rather have a good old fry sauce. So in conclusion, homemade mayo is amazing, and deep fried frozen fries are king, but only if you don't mind dealing with the oil. Oh, speaking of which, people often ask what I do with the oil after deep frying. I always save it, especially when frying something like fries. I'll let it cool completely, then line a funnel with a paper towel and just pour that over. It does take a while, but it's worth it. I use peanut oil, by the way, but any neutral high smoke point oil will do. And if you do want to make fries from scratch, I have a recipe for some Cajun fries like Five Guys in my new cookbook. And for a shake made with homemade vegan ice cream, I've got a whole section on that, as well as a peach shake like Chick-fil-A. So if you want to pre-order, check the link in description. It will help the book out immensely. Thank you. Now, speaking of shakes, it's time to make the $5 shake, which, if we adjust for inflation, is around $10. And a $10 vegan shake is actually how much I would expect to pay, and they usually are around that much. So I thought, why not just throw a bunch of stuff together and see how much it costs? So I'm going to do some vegan vanilla ice cream. I tried to find some cheap stuff, but they were all around $5 for a pint. All three of these were super good. The So Delicious Wonder Milk stuff was super good, though. So use your favorite vegan vanilla ice cream. Whatever you like will work. And a shake really is just milk and ice cream, but that sounded kind of boring to me. So I thought, why not get some vegan cheesecake and throw that in there? And this Daya cheesecake was actually quite pleasant. I really dug it, to be honest. So I'll throw a slice of that. And then next I thought, why not throw some frozen cherries in there as well? So I got about half a cup of those. So this is basically a New York cheesecake milkshake now, but I thought we need some bourbon since Vincent Vega asked about it, and also bourbon in a milkshake is a wonderful idea. And I was just kind of throwing this together. You can obviously make this however you want, but I tried to keep the ratio of 2 to 1 for ice cream to milk, and I think the bourbon might have thrown that off balance, as well as the cherries. Plus, it wasn't looking as pink as I would have liked, so I employed a trick my wife showed me where she poured some of the syrup from maraschino cherries on her ice cream, and that was looking better, but it was a little thin. So I added more ice cream until it was at my desired thickness. And then next we'll go ahead and give that a pour, top it with some vegan whipped cream, a cherry, and now a metal straw. And yeah, this was one of the best shakes I've ever had, and this made enough for 3 shakes, which according to my calculations means each shake cost around $4, which adjusting for inflation is $2 in 1994 money. I was shocked, to be honest. I thought it would be way more, and it was a really freaking good shake, and even if it had been $10 each, totally worth it in my opinion. Even though Steve Buscemi dressed as Buddy Holly didn't bring it to me, still pretty good. And if you're like me and have leftovers, store it for later. And if you want to see the best way to stack your burger, take a gander at this video. And until then, I'll see you all next time.